Good morning, everyone. Lovely spring morning. I hope it's as nice where you are. It's kind of back and forth with rain today. Well, I'm gonna just, I've got here some inexpensive watercolor paper that it didn't work well at all. So I took watercolor grounds and I have covered the top with watercolor grounds, let it dry, and and it's dried. So now what we're going to do is we're just gonna make this real pretty kind of sky here. I'm really not sure. It's gonna be kind of like a mountain scene, but I'm gonna use some of these awesome colors to make an awesome looking sky. I really don't know how it's going to come out. We're just going to go for it, which is what I love to do. Actually, I like to see with a little bit of an idea in my mind where we can go. So we're gonna just want to like swirl these colors into the sky. I've already wet the paper, and I just want to really just want to get some beautiful colors to make a really pretty, I don't know, sky. Get some blue at the top here. It's going to be a lot of different colors going on here. Some blues and some purples and grays, and I'm going to stick in some, no, we don't want green. Get that out of there. Okay. So what I've got to do is make a little area where I can put in some, whoops, that's a type of a green. Okay, whoops. I'm using these Teo paints that I have, which it's hard to tell what colors they are. They're like 100 of them in a tin. It's kind of hard to tell until some of them don't look like what you think it's going to be. You go into it and it's not that, it's something else. So it's kind of what I'm dealing with these. So there we go. There's a beautiful yellow there. Well, some of that dries a bit. And I just, I want some of that pink in there. I love pink in the sky. I'm just gonna kind of move it around and see what happens. Some purple. Now see, that's not purple. That's what it shows, but it's really not. Okay, so we'll kind of get these colors going. And then I meant to keep out right here, we want to have a nice white spot. So we're gonna take the color out like that and then get a cloth and wipe that out there. Oops. I'm gonna drag it out to the side. There we go. That's kind of looking kind of nice right there. I'm actually using some yellow ochre. Lemon yellow for the yellow. Being that the yellow, the yellow in this for some reason is just not at all what I care for. All right, so I'm gonna drag that and drag that out there. Kind of like that. And a little bit of this pink and will run through the center of that. Get the white out again. Okay. All right, and then we're nothing's going to be like the regular here with this. I'm not going to make the regular colors of mountains. I want this to be just really colorful. I don't know why, but that's what I want to do. So, so we're going to have some kind of, I want it to kind of show here. I'm trying to get some purple. These are the weirdest paints. I mean, they're good paints and all that, but they just, you don't know what you're picking up until you're picking it up. So I'm just going to go like this for one thing, because I want to have, that's kind of the color I was looking for, right there. And we want to have some in the background. We want to have, as I said, I really didn't have a plan, except that I wanted a scene like this, very colorful. That's the only thing I just kind of knew. I did something like this with acrylics years back, a long time ago. I don't even have it anymore, but it was fun because, I mean, you know, it's a little different than the excuse me. My throat dried out. And then we'll pull some out. So it's just a lot of rolling hills in the background. And I wanted to depict like mist. So the white areas will be kind of the mist there. Well, I hope you guys are doing better with your allergies than I am. Yeah, I'm really having quite the time here. I wanted to get this white again. So go around in a circle and we'll take a cloth to kind of get that back to more of the white right there. I always have to remember that watercolor dries so much lighter too, so everything I put in is going to dry a whole lot lighter than what you're looking at. Where acrylics doesn't do that, you know. So I'm going to take some pink here, and I don't want the neon pink, I just wanted a kind of a, right here. Use this color or not. And just kind of line the top. Yeah, that's kind of what I was, excuse me. Oh boy, you'll just have to bear with me, folks. I'm taking all I can take. It's just, this is what happens to me in the spring and summer, depending on what kind of a summer it is. And because of heart issues, I can't take really strong medicine that I need, so it's really quite a thing to deal with, but we deal with it. Just in these videos, it makes it a little hard. So I think I'm going to talk less and paint more. I need a different brush here. This was a flat, but a fairly large flat, and I want a fairly smaller flat. And for the moment, for right now. And we are going to, we're going to dab in trees along here, or the indication of trees is really more of what it is. And what I want to do is get some faint ones in the background, and then make some darker ones over those. So we're just going to go all along with this greenish, bluish kind of, because they're in the background. Well, that one became a little more green, but that's okay, because see, we can go over this blue with this green and it will stick out. And then what I'll do here for this, I will go back over it with the blue, and then the blue will kind of stick out more. So I just lost my, well, no, I guess I didn't. Okay, I thought I lost my mountains, but I didn't. Oops, that's too much on there. Okay, so now we're just going to go in between. Keep losing my blue here. Okay. Over the top of what I had in the background, you know, of what I've got for the background with blue. And some of them it will, you know, not even seem like they're there, because that's part of what I wanted to do anyway. So I mean, I'm just kind of using the side. I'm doing this and this is basically what that action is of the brush. All right, and then we're going to use the fan brush, a small fan brush. I like the sky, actually. I think it came out kind of nice. I need to get a green that I want, which always takes me forever in this group of stuff, these paints, because they're so different. But I love the way a fan brush does these trees. I just love the way that happens. Where is that dark green? See, these are the paints that I'm using. That's my set of Teo paints. But it's really difficult to know what you see is not necessarily what you're going to get when you dive into them. So I keep forgetting. I don't use them too often, but every now and then I like to use them. And I have to keep remembering, which I never do, where this color is and that color is, and I'm usually wrong, so. But there we go. We're going to have some darker ones, cramp in my hand, some darker ones and some lighter ones. So, and I'm going to dip into my yellow ochre here and see if I can get a color that I like better. No, not really. Okay, so all right, because I'm alternating on this side here between what am I trying to say? Light trees and darker trees, shorter and taller trees. For some reason, not like I said, these paints are a little different. They really are. They're I like them, but I don't like them kind of all at once. It's kind of weird, because I can't normally get the effect I want with them. But once they're dry, I kind of like what they look like. So I'm actually gonna, well, I think it'll be fine. I said, I usually like it once it's dry, but there was a dark green in here the other day. Can't seem to find it today. And there's not enough room for me to write, you know, what they are, so it makes it kind of hard. But that's okay, because that definitely indicates trees. I mean, you definitely can tell that those are trees. So I'm not worried about it. And then I'm going to take a nice pointed round brush. And I'm gonna put in, oops, which is a little too thick, the indications of the branches and trunks of the trees. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing, but it's going to be a little darker if I can get the right green here. Where are you, green? There was a dark, dark green that I came across that I didn't know was there the other day. That might be it there. And I'm going to come over here. This is just dabbing with these brushes. It's a matter of dabbing. Just kind of on its side and on the tip, and that's basically how it's used, or how I use it most of the time. And these colors are also, well, there we go. I got a little more, but it's too much water. I don't want that much water. But, well, we're having a time here. It could be the watercolor grounds that I put in here. I don't know. On the paper, I'm actually working more with, oh, that's pretty. Oh, there we go. That worked. Let's get one of those over here. And get that color mixed in. These are supposed to be darker over here, so I'm gonna have to darken them up with some sepia. That's fine. Actually, eyes are playing tricks on me this morning. I need these to come down like this, because they're going to be, they're actually coming from the ground down here, and I just haven't got the ground painted in yet. So, and the same with these, they're kind of coming way down here, which I meant to do. So we'll just put them in and we'll work around them, okay? So I have more of an idea of what I'm doing. Something didn't make sense. I was trying to, what is that? What did I do wrong? All right, I think get a little yellow here. Because over here is a little bit brighter. Add a little bit in there, but not much. All right. And then with this larger brush again, we're going to get, hopefully, a dark green. And I was supposed to do this ground already, and I didn't do it. So that was my problem, and I threw myself off there. Okay, so we're just gonna, the paper is not wet down here. I'm kind of using a dry part of this here. And I'm getting green, blue, sepia, because I just want some dark goings on over here. Kind of around. And the same thing over here. Maybe a little different blue with the sepia. It's just the ground that is surrounding the water. And if you don't like what I'm doing, just pick your own colors, okay? These are the colors that I'm basically choosing, you know, to use. And then I'm gonna dab so it looks like, I also want it to kind of indicate some, some grasses and things. Whoop. Okay. And we're going to put more blue in here, more blue. And get some more sepia. Because see, the watercolor, if I was using acrylic, I would be going from the other way. I would be going from dark to light, where this is mainly dark, light to dark. You don't have to do it that way. I mean, it's you know, just one of those things that have evolved. But I don't sometimes. Sometimes I do something else. There's no set rules. It's really, you know, a lot of what you want to do. I'm gonna take a little of this right here out. So I wanna make a rock right there on the side. So I'm taking some of this color out, which works good because then you have like a little bit of a shadowy kind of color in there by taking it out instead of just plain white of the paper, which I like to do. So I'm gonna get a lot of colors here to put into this rock. It's just gonna be a bunch of different colors. I kind of like this so far. Pretty colorful, which was pretty much my intent. I'll take some color out for highlights. Let that dry. And a little bit of a light green of like a jetty sort of thing coming out here into the water. Get some green in there. I kind of like that green, so I'm going to stick that in this one as well. And get some sepia and get the dark really happening for part of it. Whoops, I thought I had taken that off. Okay. Sometimes it happens that way. And then we're just going to dab out some highlights here and there. I want to get, I was trying to find my, oh, there we go. Wanted some orangey reddish kind of color within this as well. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing what sort of is coming to my mind as I paint this. I don't want it to be necessarily traditional at all. I'm just, I really just am sort of winging this because I love to do that. I definitely just love to do that. There we go with this. All right, and then what I've got to do is I've got to take the blue and that dark, and then what we got to do here in a very watery way is get our, gonna establish our line in between, but we need to have reflections, right? So we gotta get our, and reflections are always very, well, we kind of, oops. That's too much. I'll have to see what happens in a minute here. I'll have to dab some out. But that's okay. I wanted the blue, so that actually kind of worked okay, but I want it very watery. I want it to jiggle around. I want it to kind of, I want to have, you know, a type of a shape, but, you know, you really can't tell the shapes in reflections, right? You really can never really tell. So now I'm just gonna get some green. Put some of the green. Whoops, wrong color green. Well, add that in. So that's fine. That'll work fine. And then all I want is a hint, just a hint of blue. And I want to kind of dab into these like that. And then we need to come back with the, kind of finish our trees, because like I said, I got lost there for a minute in my painting, so I didn't get them where I wanted them to be. So we're going to bring them down. I'm going to use some greens and some blues. That's better. This is a fairly semi wet painting. It's not, I'm not having it real defined. I'm gonna bring these down a little bit. Leave some up, bring some down. Now it's going to be really hard to mimic the colors that I have, but I don't, you know, it's not important. Okay, so these are a little darker over here. Oops, whoa, too much, way too much water there. Now, fix it. And we're losing some shadows. I mean, losing some of our reflections. So we gotta kind of put them back in there a little bit. Kind of wiggly, you know, wiggle them around. I just happened to see something and oh, that's what it was, okay. A little darker, right? I'm using a round pointed brush. Just darkening up the ones in the front here so that we have a, that's better, okay. Get a little thicker here and there. reflection and a glare off this light. It's bugging me. Okay. All right. So I'm just about, I don't want this to be too long, but I did have, like I said, something in mind. And this is pretty close to what it was, so I'm happy with it. Let's kind of bring that out some more, like that. Get some color out. Little highlights. And then go into this ochre. Right over here. I wanted to kind of put in a bush. And then one kind of right here. Just kind of right in front. Too much water. You know, I'm going to go into my Indian yellow here. I'm going to get a little more red or something to go with this one. Yeah, okay. Reddish orange, that goes well together in there. Maybe a little something over here, just sort of popping out from the side. Okay, we gotta get some of this color. I'm trying to put some yellow there. It's not, I'll use the acrylic yellow. And I think, folks, I'm just gonna take one quick look. I think that that's basically all I really wanted to accomplish with this. I think it came out really pretty. I would have liked, which I'm actually going to take some acrylic white here. And I wanted this to be nice and light, this white to be white, but it's probably not gonna, that's better. That's okay, that worked, that's good. It's more of what I was kind of looking for. Whoop. Must have got some color on my brush. Okay. All right, so I hope you had fun with it like I did. I mean, it was just kind of a last minute sort of, oh, this would be cool type of thing. I'm sort of liking it and sort of not, so it's, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty much just a scene I wanted to do, so I did that, and yeah. So check it out. Check out my other stuff on my channel. Go and look at some things and slow this down, speed it up, whatever you would kind of like to do to be able to see what I was doing. Oh, there's one other place I wanted to get the tops kind of like they were, there we go. Oh, I'm glad I grabbed that color. Okay, I think it's one of the neons. And I wanted to get the, that turned out nice. Okay, so like I said, I do hope you like what I've done here. Try it out for yourself. Check out my other things, other tutorials, other teachings. There's a lot of stuff on my channel. And I'm hoping one of you will show me some of the stuff you're doing, some of the practicing, because we all start from the beginning, so don't ever be shy to show the beginnings of what you're doing, because everybody just starts from the beginning. It takes a while. And the practicing is like the most important things at first, so don't be afraid to show some of them. So have a most wonderful rest of your day, folks, and bye for now.